Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is network bonding, and in that network bonding we learn one of the network bonding mode, that is active backup. In this video we learn how Linux bonding works and why it is used in real production servers. We explain how multiple network interfaces are combined into a single bond interface to provide high availability and better network performance using active backup mode. We also learn how to create a VLAN on top of the bond interface and how VLAN works over bonding and how traffic flow from applications to physical NICs. This video is fully practical and suitable for Linux administrator working in data center and enterprise environment. So let's see the simple explanation what is bonding in Linux. Bonding in Linux means joining two or more network cards into one physical network interface. In simple words, multiple NICs work together as one single interface. Why we use bonding? This is very important question. There are mainly two reasons: high availability and better performance. Let me explain with the simple example. Suppose your server has two network cables connected. If one cable fails, the other cable automatically continue the network. So your server does not lose connectivity. That is the main importance of network bonding. This is called a failover. Bonding can also be used to share traffic across multiple NICs, which helps to improve the bandwidth. For bonding, Linux create one virtual interface that is we call the bond zero, and all applications use only this bond interface instead of individual NICs. So here the simple definition is Linux bonding is equal to multiple physical NIC combined into one logical interface, and for redundancy and performance we can use that Linux bonding. Perfect for production, server and data center. These are the one of the example of the network bonding. Now we talk about the VLAN on bond interface. How we can configure the VLAN on the bond interface and how it's work through the network bonding. VLAN is created on top of the bond interface. First, you create bond zero interface, then you create a VLAN on bond zero dot your VLAN number. Here are the example. VLAN interface name bond 0 dot 100. How to add VLAN on bonding? With the help of nmcli connection, add type VLAN, connection name that is your bond 100 that is your VLAN number, interface name bond 0.100, device your bond 0, and ID is your VLAN ID. How VLAN on bond the works? Bond 0 handles NIC redundancy and failovers. Bond 0.100 is a logical VLAN created over the bond 0. VLAN ID 100 is used to separate the network traffic. These are the working flow. First, that is your application. Application is point to bond 0.100 VLAN. Then bond 0.100 point to bond 0 interface. Then bond 0 point to your NIC card, that is, in my case my NIC is ENS 160, ENS 220. Those are my physical NIC card. The important point is VLAN traffic is tagged with VLAN ID 100. Your switch port must allow VLAN 100 ID. If one NIC fails, bonds still provide connectivity for the VLAN. This is a most important point of the VLAN and network bonding. In short, bonding means redundancy and performance. VLAN means network separation on the same bond interface. Here are the simple diagram of the NIC bonding with VLAN. Suppose this is your server and in that server you have two NIC present. That two physical NIC we called ENS 160 and ENS 220. Over that physical NIC, we create one bond interface, that is one logical interface. And if you want to create a VLAN, so you have to create that VLAN over the bond interface, like bond 0.100, that is your VLAN interface. But remember one thing, when you create a bond, you required only one IP address. And when you create a VLAN, for VLAN, you have to give the separate IP address. So these are the condition. If interviewer asks how many IP address you want to create the bond, not a VLAN. For creating the bond, we required only one IP address because bond 0 is your master interface and ENS 160 and ENS 220 is your slave interface. The purpose of this, create a Linux NIC bonding and create a VLAN over the bond interface is high availability, that is for we use the failover. Load sharing depends on the bonding mode and VLAN based network separation on bond interface. So these are the simple and sweet explanation of the NIC bonding and VLAN. Let's do the practical. Now here we log in to our Linux server, and first we check how many NIC card is present in our machine. We use nmcli device status command. Here you can see only one physical NIC card is present in my system. So we have to add another one NIC card. So here I come to my virtual machine, go to VM, settings, and click add. Here I select network adapter. Why? Because I want to create the NIC bonding interface. For that, we see that to create a network bonding, we require physical to network card. Here we are successfully adding the physical network card into our Linux environment. If you are new into the Linux, so please watch my previous video to learn the basic networking commands. See, after successfully add the network card, your machine is automatically restoring, and once your network card is added, you can see your network card name is ENS220. NIC link is up. Now I am coming to my putty console, and once again I check with the help of nmcli device status command. See, my second interface is successfully added in my Linux network. After that, we have to create one bond interface with the help of nmcli connection add type. Which type we want bond 0. Then what is my interface name? That is if name. Here we use only bond, not bond 0. Then use if name. If name we want bond 0. Then what is my connection name? Connection name also I want that bond 0. Then which mode we want? We want active backup mode. See, my command is to configure the bond 0 interface is nmcli connection add which type we want the bond interface. Then what is the interface of bond 0, we give that interface name. What is my connection name? That is bond 0. And which mode we want? We want active backup mode. Press enter. See, you can see that connection bond 0 successfully added. Here, with the help of nmcli device status, see, you can see that your bond interface is successfully added. After that, we have to add our slave interface one by one with the help of nmcli connection add. Which connection we want to add? That is nmcli connection add, that is type ethernet. Then which name I want to give? If name, that is interface name, is my 160. Then my connection name is I am giving bond slash slave 1. Here I give bond 0 for the clear understanding. Then master, here which one is master? That is bond 0. Bond 0 is our master. See, we successfully added the slave connection for ENS 160. Same connection we have to add that 2 to 4, that is slave 2. Okay, we successfully added slave 1 for ENS 160 and slave 2, that is ENS 2 to 0. Then we check nmcli device status command. See, here only bond 0 is present, but we use here nmcli connection show command. See, here in that connection we successfully added bond 0 slave 1 and bond 0 slave 2. Okay, then we have to give the IP address of the bond 0. We use nmcli command connection modify. To whom we have to modify? That is bond 0. Then give the IP address. My IP address is 192.168.235.134. This is my IP address. Then give the gateway IP version 4, gateway 192.168.235.2. In my case, my gateway is 2. Then assign the DNS IP version 4 DNS. That I am using Google DNS 8.8.8. And finally, we use the method. Which method we want? We want the manual method, means that is static IP we configure to our bond interface. IP version 4 method, that is manual. Okay. Yes, we successfully give the IP address to our bond 0 interface. After successfully add the IP address of the bond 0, then we have to up our bond 0 connection with the help of nmcli connection. First, we have to up our slave connection, not a bond connection. I tell you why we do like this. Bond hyphen slave 1. Okay, we have to give another interface to up that connection, nmcli connection of bond 0 slave 2. This is our ENS 224. Then we check the connection is properly up or not with the help of nmcli connection show command. See, first we up our slave connection. When we up that slave connection, our physical connection is automatically down. Why? Because when we configuring the bond interface only required one logical interface, and your physical interface is act like the slave interface. For that interface, you don't require the IP address. Now we check our bond interface is up or not. See, it's automatically up. Why? Because first we up our slave interface. That's why we not face any kind of issues. Now here we check IP a command. With the help of this command, we can see when we configure the bond interface, only one IP address is required. That is 192.168.235.134. And look at here, your ENS 160 and ENS 224, that interface doesn't have the IP address. So we fulfill our first criteria. Now we come to our VMware console. We log in to our server and check the status of bonding with the help of cat slash proc net and bonding. Here we use after bonding, that is bond 0. C. When we check cat slash proc net bonding bond 0, you can see that your bonding mode is fault tolerance active backup. Then currently active slave is ENS 160. Your MII status is up. Slave interface 160 and your another interface is ENS 220. So currently active slave is your ENS 160. Now we do the live practical. We down the ENS 220 with the help of nmcli connection down ENS. Sorry, this is not a command. IP link set ENS 160. We down here. See, link state definitely down, disabling slave, making interface the new active one. These message come from our bond 0 interface. We see what happened to our bond 0 interface status with the help of proc net bonding bond 0. See, previously our currently active slave is ENS 220, but sorry, previously active slave my ENS 160, but when we down our 160 interface, then the automatically ENS 224 is come up and place to currently active slave mode. And you can also see the slave interface ENS 160 that MI status is down and link failure count is 1. So here we successfully configure the active backup mode into the Linux environment when we create the NIC bonding. Now we up our ENS 160 and see what's happened. See, when you up your ENS 160, the currently active slave is not changed. Why? Because once the ENS 220 is failed, that time ENS 160 is coming to currently active slave base. Now here we come to our shell C. My shell is down. Why? Because we are down the interface link from the VMware console. Let's try to log in from putty shell. See, my shell is not login. Here we down the interface to sorry 2 to 4. We down that interface, then we check again. See, we successfully log in to our putty shell. And when you see that cat slash proc net bonding bond 0. See, ENS 160 is coming to current active slave place and your ENS 220 is showing down. So we up with the help of IP link set ENS 224 up command. We up that interface and check again our both interface are up and running perfectly. So here we successfully configure the active backup mode into the NIC bonding. Now we going to configure the VLAN over the bond 0. First we check nmcli sorry, a caps lock is on. nmcli device status. Here only three interface is present. Bond 0, 160, ENS 224 ENS. Now here we configure another one device, that is VLAN. With the help of nmcli connection add which type we want. We want VLAN. Then connection name, which connection name we have to give. We have to give bond 0 dot 100. That is our VLAN ID. Then our interface name is bond 0 dot 100. And device, which device? That is bond 0. And which ID we want? We want VLAN ID 100. With the help of this command, we successfully add the VLAN over the bond interface. You can also check with the help of nmcli device status command. See, bond 0 dot 100 is successfully add. Now configure the IP address of that VLAN with the help of nmcli connection modify, that is bond dot 100. We give the IP address, that is 192.168.235.124. that is our IP address /24. Then give the gateway 192.168.235.2. Then provide the DNS. We give the Google DNS 8.8.8. Then we use which method we want. We want the manual method. See, with the help of this command, we give the IP address of the bond 0.100 VLAN interface. See, we successfully give the IP address of that VLAN interface. Then with the help of nmcli device status command, we check bond 0.100 VLAN is connected successfully. We check IPA command. See, IPA command shows that our VLAN IP address, that is 192.168.235.124. Now we can see that we use the nmcli device status command. In that status command, we see that device, type, state, and connection. So, what is the meaning of that command? That command shows us how many interface are present in our Linux environment. So, that is connected or disconnected state. So, in Linux environment, if you want to check any device is connected or not, you can use nmcli device status command. It shows you the state of that device. Let's do one practical. We check ENS 160. Okay, not use that ENS 160. We use the bond 0.100 device. Now we are going to down bond 0.100 device with the help of IP link set bond 0.100. We down that device. See, we successfully down, and if you want to check that device is connected or disconnected, we use nmcli device status command. See, that device is gone. But how do you verify that device is present or not with the help of nmcli connection connection show command? See, with the help of this command, we know that our bond 0.100 VLAN interface is present. So nmcli connection show command shows that name, UUID, type, and device name. So here we again up our device. We can see nmcli connection show command. In that command, our bond 0 100 is successfully connected. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Happy learning.